Howdy folks, and welcome to another video. This week I'm feeling festive, so I have 3 porcelain baubles that I got from Hobbycraft years ago, but I'm pretty sure that they still do them this year. But yeah, these are 3 ceramic baubles, each with a little jute string. I think that's how you pronounce it. They're nice and smooth, and like I say, I got them a few years back, but I never really got inspired to do anything with them. But this year I thought, as there's now 3 of us in our family, and we've got 3 baubles, we might as well customise them. Yeah, personalise them. And you know, I didn't have a lot of energy to do a lot else because the politics is just draining me, and I wanted to do something festive, so I'm going to keep this super simple. Let's get started. So the very first thing that I needed to do was practice my lettering, because I'm not comfortable with lettering at all, and I knew I wanted a nice sort of calligraphy style lettering on the bauble just because I had seen a few of them around and about, and I liked the way they looked. So what I did was I had a look at some existing typefaces that I had on my computer in this kind of fake calligraphy style, and tried to learn from those. Probably not the best method of doing it, but it worked for me in this instance, and I really like what I came up with. So that first one, I tried to do Edward first because, you know, he's my world. I didn't like the E, but the second 2 I quite liked after I'd kind of thickened up the line width and everything on there. I quite liked what they came out like, so those were the designs I ended up moving forward onto. And I decided pretty early on that rather than using my acrylic paints or anything like that, I would use my paint pens that I'd used in a previous video, once I'd managed to get them prepped. Seriously, paint pens are great, but you have to spend a bit of time until the ink flows. And I wanted to keep most of the bauble white, to be honest. My Christmas tree is quite traditional. I've got a lot of red and a lot of gold on there. And some woods as well. It's a nice tree, you know, I like it. But yeah, I really quite liked the idea of keeping the ceramic porcelain white. So I wanted to do some really simple kind of festive leafy designs. I was actually really inspired by Mira Byler's video where she did the Starbucks cups, and she did this lovely festive cup at the beginning. With these really nice, simple leaf decorations, and I was like, oh, that looks so nice, I want to give that a go, and maybe that's what I can do for my baubles. So shout out to Mira Byler for inspiring me to try this out. And it was really relaxing to do, and she says that in a lot of her artwork videos. These little patterns are just really relaxing to kind of take your mind off everything else that's going on in the world and draw something, which is very much what I needed to do. So then I decided to take a practice with the pen I was going to actually be using. So I decided to do the names in gold rather than black, just because, you know, keeping it festive. Sorry, I scooched off the edge of the screen there. So I tried it with the gold pen on the paper. Again, these pens on paper, it's not their best friend. But it did okay. It was enough for me to fathom out what I was going to do. And then decided to just practice the layout on paper first because I was nervous. But then it was time to move on to the bauble. I actually decided to leave the drop shadow that I put on the name there. I didn't like it on paper, so I decided I wouldn't transfer it onto the bauble. But using these paint pens on the bauble instead of paper was much nicer experience. Like, I really wasn't sure about these paint pens initially because they were a cheaper alternative to Posca. They are quite thin, but they worked brilliantly on the bauble. So maybe it's just that they don't like paper, and that's fine. You know, art supplies on different areas, I suppose. You know, mediums. I don't know. We'll work something out. But yeah, on porcelain anyway, they were brilliant. The gold flowed really nicely, and I did feel like I was painting, which kind of makes sense. It's paint. But I didn't feel like, obviously, any of that pulling that I was getting from the pens previously. And it was really nice and shiny. So I then decided to do myself and Ben a name as well, but not before popping these leaves on Edwards. And rather than do just a straightforward semicircle, I suppose, arc. I put a little dimple in it, and I don't really know why, but as I was working on them, this kind of gets more pronounced. So I think it was Ben's that I did last, and or it might have been mine actually, and the dimple on that one is a lot more severe. So I don't know, it just kind of happened. I guess as you get into doing these things, your confidence builds up and you stop looking at your reference a bit more, but relying on muscle memory. And I remembered putting that tiny little flat bump on there, which became a huge dimple by the end of it. But again, really relaxing to do. I actually now really want to make some more of these for my family, spoilers family, but I can't find any more of these baubles. They've obviously sold out. I did see them earlier in the month, but when I went to Hobbycraft yesterday, in fact, they didn't have any of these baubles in stock. So I might have to come up with something else. But yeah, it was really nice to do, and I have shown these to my family and they really liked them anyway. So, and they're so simple, like really, really simple. These are just really basic shapes, and adding these berries now is just circles. It's literally just circles of different sizes, but it's so effective. And I really like how they came out. And like I say, everybody I've shown them to has really enjoyed them too. So hopefully you guys can, watch this video and be inspired. Grab some things and personalise them. Or even if it's like, your Christmas tags, doing something different on the present tags like this. It didn't take long. I can't actually remember how long it took, because you may notice in a moment, I did this over, as usual, several different sittings of about 15 minutes or something like that. But yes, in a minute you'll probably notice my nails change colour, because I decided to paint them because they are really dry. That's why I try not to draw attention to my nails in these videos, but there's a lot of sort of white dry patches around my nails, and that's just because my fingers hate the winter. So I decided to paint them a bit more glamorous for Christmas, so they will get glitzy red in a minute. But yes, as you can see, adding this gold into here is like the stem of the leaves, and then like a little highlight on the berry. I was going to use white, but then I used the gold, and I thought, yeah, that works, because it's Christmas. If you can't use gold at Christmas, when can you use it? So here is a slightly off frame close-up of the final name of the bauble. And then it was just time to do the same for my bauble and Ben's bauble. Again, prepping paint pens. The struggle is real, guys. But yeah, as you can see, mine and Ben's have that sort of dimple in the middle a lot more pronounced. Oh, and there's the nails. You didn't even notice it happen. And then after I'd figured out how I wanted to write 2019 on the back, because I figured, if you're personalising something, it's always nice to put a date so that people can remember when they did it. For us, it was because I've done these because it's our first Christmas with Edward. So I wanted to remember that. Not that I would forget it, but So I wrote 2019 on the back of every bauble. And then instead of doing exactly the same sort of leafy motif, I just had it start one side and end the other, rather than feel like a garland. I don't know, it just looks a little bit different, and I liked it. It's not vastly different, I'm not going to lie. Sorry, this is slightly off camera. I need to learn how to hold things in front of the camera when I'm working on them. But again, yeah, the little berries. I just think these were so fun to do, and I'm really excited to share them with you guys, because I think that anyone can do them. I literally believe anybody can do this. So I'm really excited. If you give it a go, please link me on social media. I'm at CowgirlM everywhere. I've got links. I'll put links in the description to my other social media account. But yeah, show me what you've done, and how much you enjoyed it. I really did like just using this gold as little highlights and things. And look, I managed to learn how to hold the ball in front of the camera, even if it is upside down. Forgive me. And that is about it, I think. This is the last one now, getting its gold bits in the middle. I really hope you have enjoyed this video. It's something a little different and a little quick from me. But But I really enjoyed working on these, and I really hope that you want to give it a go. I really hope to inspire people. That's really what I want to do with this channel. So here is Ben Bauble and Emily Bauble. I gave myself a red dot in the eye because, you know, red's my favourite colour, and it just seemed screaming out for that little red dot there, and I like that touch. And then finally one for my little Edward, which was actually the first one I did, but yeah, and remembering it was 2019. So if you enjoyed this video, I know it's a little bit different, but if you did enjoy watching it, then please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you're gonna do these for yourself, or even if you think of other ideas. But now all that's left is to put them on my Christmas tree. I'm feeling very festive, and until next time, folks, I will see you later. Bye.